Hello and welcome to Rathod Science Academy. Today in this session we are going to see very important articles that appeared in our today's newspaper. So let's get started with that discussion. So first of all, I'll let you know important topics of the day, and after that I'll be explaining each and every topic from prelims and as well as mains point of view, and at last I'll be giving you some prelims practice questions case so that you can understand how questions can be asked from that topic. Okay, now let us see the topics of the day. And today is Saturday. There are very less number of articles related to our UPSC point of view, guys. So I am taking today only 4 articles for the discussion. Okay, so first article, it is about GDP growth estimated at 7.7% in 2025 to 2026, says government. So government released one GDP forecast, and in this GDP forecast in 2025 to 2027, they estimated that the GDP growth will be at 7.7%. So here you have to see about what is this GDP, what are the types of GDP, and you have to see what is this estimate is about and who gave this estimate. And this topic is important from your GS paper 3 under economy point of view. And next topic, it is about pelicans. There is one image in international edition in the first page that shows about how Hydra impacted this migratory birds. So here you have to know about what is that Hydra of Telangana state and how that led to restoration of wetlands, which is now attracting this migratory bird called as pelicans. And this topic is important from GS paper 3 under environment and ecology. And next topic is India needs innovative strategies to eliminate TB. So this article is talking about TB, and this article is talking about some innovative steps. You may get a question in your mains related to this TB elimination. In that type of questions, you can use this article and what exactly it is saying. And this topic is again important from science and technology, and even from governance point of view, we can see this article. And next topic is incomplete truce. This article is talking about recently Israel and Lebanon signed ceasefire, but it is not completely implemented on the ground level. So this article is talking about that, and this topic is important from your GS paper 2 under international relations. Okay, read this title, guys. This article is saying about GDP growth. GDP growth estimated at 7.7% in the 2025 to 2026, says government. Okay, so the keyword here is, first of all, you have to know what exactly is that GDP, and next you have to see who gave this GDP estimate, that is the second one. And third one here is, if you see this infographic, what can you understand here? In financial year 2024, it is 7.2%. In financial year 25, it is 7.1%. In 2026, now they are estimating 7.7%. That means if we compare with the last 2 to 3 years, there is increased GDP estimation. So here you have to know what are the reasons for increasing of GDP of our country. Okay, so these are the 3 areas that you have to see. And next one is obviously what will be the impact on our economy. So you have to see that thing, guys. So first of all, tell me, what is the GDP? What is the meaning of GDP? Full form of this GDP is gross domestic product. What does this gross domestic product means? In a country, within 1 year, whatever the value of final goods or intermediate goods, final goods. So the value of total final goods which are produced in a country within 1 year is called as GDP. So in our country, the total value of final goods which are produced within 1 year is called as GDP. And how many types of GDP do we have? 2 types. One is nominal GDP, and next one is real GDP. We have nominal GDP and we have real GDP. So here you have to know difference between this nominal GDP and real GDP. On this, UPSC asked number of times questions in prelims, and also UPSC have a tendency to ask in the next year also. So here you have to see exactly what is the difference between this nominal GDP and real GDP. And next you have to see about methods of calculation. So how many methods we use to calculate this GDP in our country? We have three methods. What are those three methods? First one is income method. Next one is expenditure method. And third one is gross value added method. So you have to see these three methods. Income method, expenditure method and gross value added method. Okay. Now this article is saying that released by whom? Government of India. Okay. So here who releases data? So please make a note here. Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, simply MOSPI. MOSPI released GDP estimate of 2025 to 26 and it is 7.7%. Okay, here you have to know about National Statistics Survey and you have to know about MOSPI. Okay, so these two areas UPSC can ask you a question. Okay, when this NSO was formed? NSO was formed in year 2019 and earlier we used to have National Sample Survey Office and as well as Central Statistical Office separately. In 2019 they merged together and they comes under this NSO. Under this NSO only we have this Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. And what is the function here? It will compile, it will disseminate reliable and objective data related to our country. Okay, now let us see what is the difference between this nominal and real GDP. Okay, nominal means nothing but we are taking the current prices. Whenever we are calculating GDP or whenever we are seeing the CPI or index of industrial production, we will take a base year, right? Okay. So let us go to that concept and let us see what is this nominal and what is this real. Nominal is nothing but current prices. Current price means nothing but in 2026, now we are in month of June, right? In June month, what is the price of that so and so product is called as current price. That is called as nominal. Okay, real means nothing but we will check the base year and we will adjust inflation based on this base year and whatever the GDP we will calculate by adjusting this inflation, that is called as real. Are you understanding? Nominal is nothing but we are not taking inflation into account. Just we will calculate the total value of the goods and services of that year. That current year is called as nominal. But we will take base year into account and if we are adjusting inflation and after removing this kind of inflation, deflation, etc. So whatever the GDP will get, that is called as real GDP. So these are the two types of GDP we have. And now my question is, when we are comparing with earlier years, now it is 7.7. That means there is a little growth. Now my question is, what are the reasons for the growth of this GDP? What do you think? What do you think why there is a growth of our GDP in our country? GDP is nothing but the total value. There is increased total final value of goods and services in our country. So what do you think? What are the reasons for this increase when we compare to last year? Come on, think and what government did. First one is government extended PLI scheme. Yes, if you are extending this PLI, what is PLI? Production linked incentive scheme. If you are increasing or if you are extending this, obviously what happened? The production from the companies will be obviously increased. That is the one reason. And so, do you know about this GST reforms? Government came up with this GST 2.0. So what government did? Earlier we have many slabs like 5%, 12%, 18%, 28%. And we now merged it and we have only now 2 slabs. One is 5%, one is 18%. And for sin goods, we have 40%. That keep it aside. So normally for everyday use products, we have 5% and 18%. So because of this, what happened? There is decreased tax on the daily products. Because of this, what happened? The goods are getting it cheaper. So because of this, there is increased demand and increased consumption. So overall, this article is saying that there is increased consumption of our people. So because of increased consumption, obviously we have to produce more. If we are producing more, this will contribute to increased GDP. So these are the three major reasons why there is increased production that led to increased GDP estimate of our country, guys. So this is this article. And now tell me, guys, is GDP growth is good for our country or bad for our country? Is it good or bad? Obviously it is good, right? So what is the impact? What is the impact of increased GDP estimate? Come on, think and tell me what is the impact of increased GDP estimate. Come on. There will be increased. If GDP is increasing, then what will be the impact? Is it a sign of stronger economy or a weaker economy? Stronger economy. If India is showcasing that it is a stronger economy, can we increase or can we attract more investments? We can attract more investments in our country. Whenever we are attracting more investments, then what happens? We can create more employment opportunities. We can create more employment opportunities. Next one is we can decrease hunger. If we are getting more investments, furthermore increased production can happen from our country. Then what happens? That will further leads to increase more and more GDP. And next one here is, if you are getting more investments, then what happens? We can also create demand in the society. Why and how? We are creating more employment, we are giving wages to the people, then what happens? Obviously there will be increased private consumption of the people, that will create more demand and furthermore creates increased production, right? And next one here is, one more important point you have to see is, whenever we are increasing GDP, even credit rating companies will give good rating for India. If credit rating companies are giving good rating, furthermore what happened? It will boost our investments. So like that, because of increased GDP, we are having lots of advantages. And even India can achieve its target of 2047, that is Viksit Bharat, and even 5 trillion economy also we can achieve, that is through only increasing of GDP. Okay, so these all are the impacts of this increased GDP estimates. Okay, now let us see next article. See this title, guys. It is talking about restoring habitat, and the birds that you can see on the screen are pelicans. Pelicans. So here something is written, I'll read it out. Pelicans at Amber Cheru in Hyderabad on Friday. Hyderabad Disaster Response and Asset Protection Agency's efforts, that is nothing but Hydra's efforts, to restore lake appear to be working. Hydra has removed sludge and installed fences to curb pollution and protect biodiversity. So as you know, if you are from Telangana, government of Telangana launched Hydra. What is Hydra is about? Here you have to know about Hydra. So UPSC may not give directly question related to Hydra, but where you can use this image and whatever that something is written under this under this image, where can you use it? When you write any question, any answer to a question related to protection of biodiversity, can you use this as an example? Yes, you can add this two lines as an example for the question related to how to protect biodiversity. Example, you can write Hydra in Telangana help to restore lake so that we are attracting migratory birds like pelicans in Hyderabad. Are you understanding? And if UPSC wants to give a question, it can give a question on pelicans, because UPSC's favorite area is asking questions on animal species and as well as plant species. In 2026 also there is one question on lion-tailed macaque. Next time UPSC can give you a question on pelicans, who knows? Are you understanding? And even on this pelicans also UPSC asked I think twice question in PYQ. In PYQs if you see, they asked question on pelicans. In options you can see this pelicans. So if you can see this kind of options in your PYQs, for sure UPSC has a tendency to ask a question again on that area. Okay, now let us see about these pelicans and as well as what is this Hydra project is about. Pelicans, they are large water birds and they are well known for long beaks and large throat pouches, and they will feed on what? Fishes. And pelicans are highly social birds and they will live in colonies of hundreds, and they are eating fish, so they are carnivorous birds. Okay, they are carnivorous birds. They primarily feed on fish, but even they will consume amphibians, crustaceans, insects, birds, and even small mammals. And they inhabit all continents except Antarctica, guys. And these pelicans, they prefer warm coastal and as well as inland waters like rivers and lakes. Okay, and even India also we can see this spot-billed pelican. Okay, now let us see about this Hydra. Hydra stands for Hyderabad Disaster Response and Asset Protection Agency. And this Hydra is dedicated to urban areas, not rural areas. Okay, it is dedicated to urban governance and disaster management body, and this body was formed by Telangana government in 2024. So what is the reason? To curb urban flooding. As you all know that the major problem in the urban areas is urban floods. If we get even a very small rainfall for 10 to 15 minutes, you know how this roads will become, right? So the major reason for this urban flooding is encroachment of wetlands. If we have wetlands, they will absorb whatever the water which is there, but we are encroaching that wetlands. So because of this, what happened? That is leading to this havoc of urban floods. So under this Mission Hydra, government of Telangana wants to address this problem of urban flooding, and they want to reclaim the public places like lakes and as well as parks across this Hyderabad core urban region. And what are the objectives? What it is doing? Asset protection. It is safeguarding government properties, parks, nalas and lakes from illegal encroachments. They are going and they are removing this illegal encroachments on this lake sites. You know that. And next one here is disaster management. They are focusing on rapid response, flood mitigation. And next one is they are also focusing on preventive governance. Like they want to enhance proper preparedness for the disasters in Hyderabad area. So these are the major objectives of this Hydra, and you can use this article while you are writing any answer related to protection of biodiversity. Okay, see this next article, guys. Title says India needs innovative strategies to eliminate TB. The key word in this article is TB. What is the full form of TB? Tuberculosis. In your science and technology, in diseases topic, you will see about this non-communicable disease and communicable disease. TB is an example of communicable or non-communicable. It is communicable disease. It is caused by bacteria. What is the name of that bacteria? Mycobacterium tuberculosis is a bacteria which causes this TB. And in this TB, we have two types, pulmonary TB and as well as extrapulmonary TB. Pulmonary means this bacteria will be affecting your respiratory system. Respiratory system is nothing but your lungs and your throat and as well as your nose. So this part will be getting affected. Okay, and it is easy to identify. Why? Because you will be having constant cough. Whenever you are having cough, you will be having sputum, and whenever you're coughing, what happens? Your chest will be having extreme pain, and even you will get fever. So that what happen? Obviously, if you're having some uncomfortable or if you feel like uncomfortable, you will be visiting doctor and you will be having a diagnosis. So easily you can take out your sputum and you can give that sputum for analysis. And the second type here is extrapulmonary. That means it can affect your brain, it may affect your intestines, it may affect your kidneys, even it may affect your eyes also. So like that, because of this bacteria which is affecting other organs other than the lungs, it will be majorly difficult to identify exactly what is it. Exactly, we will not understand like extrapulmonary TB. If we are not going for proper diagnosis of extrapulmonary TB, then what happens? This TB will be progressed and the stages will be crossed. Obviously, it will lead to more danger, right? Okay, so this article is saying that majorly pulmonary TB can be diagnosed easily and we can start treatment as soon as possible. But regarding this extrapulmonary TB, it is very difficult to diagnose and people will not go for proper medical checkup. So because of this, what happened? This is killing people more compared to this pulmonary TB. So here this article is saying that India has a target of elimination of TB in our country, but we are not following proper innovative solutions. So if you see about the TB, do we have any vaccine related to TB? Yes, we have a vaccine. What is that? I think you might have heard about this BCG vaccine, Bacillus calamity guarin vaccine. As soon as the childbirth happens, I think you also have one mark on your left hand or right hand. That is nothing but BCG vaccine only. So BCG vaccine will be given as soon as the birth of the baby happens. And apart from that, have you heard like I took TB vaccine after birth? Actually, we are focusing on only infant related TB, but we are not focusing on in the adult stages. So because of this, we are not able to control this TB in our country and we are not able to eliminate this TB in our country. So now Government of India is focusing on bringing up of new vaccines for this TB in our country. But the problem here is that TB vaccines will only work for or effective for this pulmonary TB, but not extrapulmonary TB. So because of this article is saying that we need to come up with some innovative solutions to eliminate this TB. So this is the background that you need to know before reading this article. You have to know pulmonary, extrapulmonary. You have to know about this BCG vaccine when it is given as soon as the baby birth. They will give this vaccine. And next one is you have to know which is organism which is causing this TB. And next you have to see about now whatever the government is trying for getting of the vaccines, they are effective for only pulmonary but not extrapulmonary. So because of this now you can easily understand like what kind of innovative steps we have to take. Okay, now let us see this article what it is saying. If you see this statistics or TB burden in our country, India bears one of the world's highest TB burdens. And especially in low and middle income countries, TB incidents are ranging from around 200 to 300 per every 1 lakh. Every 1 lakh patients, we are having every 1 lakh people, we are having 200 to 300 TB patients. So when can we say that elimination of TB is done? For 1 lakh people, if there are only 10 to 20 people who are having this TB, then only we can say, yes, we had eliminated or we have reduced this incident of TB in our country. And TB still kills more people annually and it is one of the single infectious disease in lower and as well as middle income countries which is killing people. Okay, what are the challenges here? The first one here is TB has multiple pathways. What are those multiple pathways? One is pulmonary TB and next one is extrapulmonary TB. And next one here is normally we will give a single vaccine called as BCG vaccine for the children, for the baby as soon as they born. This single vaccine cannot cover extrapulmonary TB. That is one more problem. And this one is whatever the vaccine trials we are doing in our country, they are focusing only on pulmonary TB. And this extrapulmonary TB is under addressed. And one more problem here is extrapulmonary TB is difficult to diagnose and often they are missed under routine screening. And this one here is vaccine efficacy drops significantly in people with low BMI. So even if the people are not maintaining proper body mass because of malnutrition, even if they are taking vaccine means it is ineffective only. So this vaccine will be effective only if you are maintaining proper BMI. And as you all know that in India poverty is very high, hunger is high, malnutrition is high. If you are going for giving of vaccine also, it may not be effective. That is also one challenge. Okay, and next one is there is no proper structured TB vaccination program in our country beyond infancy. That means beyond this BCG vaccines, there is no vaccine we are giving to the children or adolescents related to this TB. So all these are the different challenges we are facing in our country. Are you understanding? Okay, now let us see what exactly this article is talking about innovative steps. Which kind of steps we can take? First one is targeted vaccination. Okay, so targeted vaccination is nothing but we'll send our children to school at the age of 3 to 4, right? Whenever we are keeping child in our home, they are like safe. And we know who are coming to our home and who is having infection. If someone is having fever, we will not allow our children to get into their room or touch with them. But if we are sending our children to school, in school, in their class, how many children will be there? Minimum 10 to 15 children will be there. Do we know about their health condition? And do our children know like to touch them or not to touch them? You know, even children will share the food also. I think we also shared food in our school time. And if our friend is not feeling well also, we will do all the service to the friend. And even at that time, we don't know like to clean, to maintain everything. So because of this, children are more vulnerable to get this TB. If one of their friend got this, obviously that will be easily spread to the children, right? So here we have to target the children first of all who are going to the school, and we have to give this vaccine to them first. And next one is adolescents, adolescent children. And next one here is we have to prioritize households who are having this history of TB. For example, if someone in their family got TB, we have to identify them and we have to give vaccine to that entire family. So like that, we have to go for targeted vaccination. That is the first step. And next one is better detection. Like we have to expand the tools of identifying clinical, subclinical, as well as asymptomatic TB early. Okay, and one more thing that you have to remember is whenever this bacteria enter into our body, do we get immediately symptoms? No, it will take some time, that is called as incubation period. After that, slowly symptoms will come outside. And take a scenario, imagine there is one weak person, there is one strong person. In which person we can say symptoms first? The person who is weak, right? If the person who is strong and if their immunity is very good, then the symptoms cannot be come out. That stage is called as asymptomatic stage. But what happened? Bacteria will be there in their body, it is growing. But even though they will not show the signs and symptoms. So asymptomatic TB is very difficult to detect. So here this article is saying that we have to even expand our tools by using more advanced science and technology, and even we have to detect asymptomatic TB also. And this one is we have to focus on preventive therapy. How can we go for prevention? We have to advise people to use mask, especially people who had been diagnosed with TB, they have to use N95 mask. And even we can advise school children to wear this mask. And next one is nutrition integration. We have to improve BMI, that is body mass index of people. That means the people who are like having this kind of TB, obviously they need better nutrition compared to that of others. So because of that only government is providing monthly 1,000 rupees for this TB patients to focus on nutrition. So like that we can focus on nutrition integration also. And next one here is we have to come up with a combination of tools, like we have to come up with vaccines and we have to come up with new medicines, okay, and we have to focus on preventive treatment and better diagnostic tools for this TB. And next one is we have to go for immediate deployment, like what are the vaccines which are there in the market, we have to deploy them, and even we have to include these vaccines as part of Mission Indradhanush, which is focusing on giving of free vaccines for the children. Okay, so these are the some innovative steps which said by this article, guys. Okay, see this article. Incomplete truce. Israel has to pull back troops from Lebanon for peace to take hold. Recently we discussed Lebanon and Israel came up with 10 days of ceasefire, right? So again this article is saying that whatever the terms and conditions are there in the ceasefire, they are not implemented at the ground level. So here if you see PYQs, many a times they asked map based question related to Lebanon, related to Mediterranean Sea and Syria, Israel, like that. So you have to see in detail about the map of West Asian countries. Okay, very important area. Now let us see the map. If you see the map here, can you see the map? Here this green color is Lebanon and this is Mediterranean Sea, and here to the south of this Lebanon we have Israel, and here we have Syria. Okay, and here you have to see some important rivers. Here we have one river called as Litani, you have to remember that, and often that will be news, Litani river, because whenever the issue between Israel and Lebanon happens, Israel will enter into this Lebanon territory till this Litani. So because of this you have to remember this Litani river which is located in Lebanon. Okay, and there is one lake called as Lake Koram, that is on this Litani river only. So here you have to see. So this is Litani river, it is coming in this way, and on this lake, on this river there is one lake called as Lake Koram. So you have to see that for sure. Okay, now let us see about this ceasefire deal. So whenever we are talking about a ceasefire, it will be only temporary, for only temporary period, it's not a permanent period. Just for the goodwill gesture, they want to ensure the peace between those countries. And if you see about this Lebanon and Israel ceasefire, so it is like a 60-day ceasefire of hostilities, and it is between Israel and as well as Hezbollah. Who are this Hezbollah and who supports this Hezbollah? Hezbollah is a militant group which is supported by Iran, right? Iran is using this Hezbollah to attack this Israel. Yes, we know that thing, right? Whenever we are discussing about this West Asian crisis, which countries are involved here? US is supporting Israel and they attack this Iran, and in retaliation Iran has to attack this Israel, right? So to attack this Israel, Iran is using this Hezbollah militant group to fight against this Israel. And here this ceasefire is between Israel and as well as Hezbollah. And what is the important point here? They said that yes, they have to withdraw the forces. They have to withdraw these forces at least 40 kilometers back from this Israel-Lebanon border. Okay, so that is the thing, guys. But on the ground, they are not at all focusing here. And next, one more important point in this ceasefire is they have to enhance monitoring and supervision. And they said that so this Hezbollah movements they should not cross this south of Litani river. Okay, so here this Hezbollah should be above this Litani river. They should not cross this Litani river because Litani and this Israel is very close, right? So they said that as part of this agreement, this Hezbollah should not cross this Litani river. So because of this, Litani river is very important, and you may get a question in this way. Recently, Litani river is seen in news. In which of the following country it is located? They may give you option A like Iran, Syria, Israel, Lebanon. Like that, they may give you options. This Litani is in Lebanon. Clear? Okay, see these prelims questions, guys. The first one, it is about GDP. Consider the following statements regarding GDP. First statement is GDP measures the total monetary value of all final goods and services produced within a country's border during a specific period. Second one is GDP includes the value of intermediate goods used in production process. For sure, will they use this intermediate products? That will be only final. So you can eliminate the second statement. And this one is nominal GDP is calculated on current prices, whereas real GDP is adjusted for inflation. Yes. So answer will be 1 and 3. So normally what happens whenever they are comparing two things like real GDP and nominal GDP, they will flip-flap the statements. They will give the statement of this real with nominal, nominal with real, but it is not here. Okay. So see in that way, guys. And say this next question. Consider the following statements regarding TB. First one is tuberculosis caused by bacterium, Mycobacterium tuberculosis. TB affects only the lungs. The TB spreads mainly through air when an infected person coughs or sneezes. What is the answer? 1 and 3. Because it not only affects your lungs, but even it can affect the kidneys, liver, eyes, brain, etc. So it is wrong. So answer will be 1 and 3 only. Okay. So in this way you have to identify what is the right answer for that question in your prelims. That's all, guys. By this I'm concluding. Thank you so much for watching. And if you like this class, please do the like button. Please do share this class to your friends. And one more thing here is we are going to launch a new batch for GS Princecom Mains Foundation on 8th of this June, guys. And we are providing 8th and 9th 2 days as free demo classes on both online and offline. And if you want to attend this demo class on offline, please do visit our academy on this 8th. The timings of the class will be like 2:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. And on online, if you want to attend that demo class, you can just download Rathod's IS app. Before starting that class, you will be getting notification and you can join the live class in app itself, guys. And I wish you all the best. And if you want to join this course, if you have any queries, if you want to get more details of this course, please do contact us on this number 8074765513. Okay, I wish you all the best. Thank you so much, guys.